chicken, the rib tips.
Oh yeah, you came back with the fistful of, with the handfuls. So, but it wasn't a whole lot because, again, we shared it. It was just so, I don't know, y'all.
We tried a lot. I think we tried more than most people.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about what we feel about Chicago and taste? The downside and elephant in the room?
Well, here's the thing. Let's just talk about how we felt. Like, how do we rank taste overall? It's a 5-day event. It's not worth 5 days, in our opinion.
Not just to do that. Like, I think you can wrap it around other parts of Chicago, but I wouldn't just come here 5 days.
No, please don't. Please don't. You'll be mad.
So, in my mind,
oh Lord Jesus,
that could be. This won't be an elephant.
Wait. That's going to be the arguments with spouses on trips.
No, okay, I won't talk about that.
Okay.
In my mind, when I thought about Taste of Chicago, I thought like miles and miles of food, like the best restaurants miles. Yeah, like I felt like you could just look out and just see tents, and you can't even get through it in a day. Like that's what 5 days worth of food. I didn't think 25 restaurants would be there.
Right, and not to mention, remember I did the research and I was looking for the top in Chicago, and I'm like, ooh, we're going to figure this out, and that's where we're going to go when we get there. None of the top eats were there except Connie's.
And
Connie's, Lou's, those are pizza places, and Joco's, I'm calling it Joco's, it's XOCO.
That's the churro place?
That's the churro place. Oh. Those were the top that were actually listed. That was it.
Yeah. So if we were to come back to Chicago, it would not matter what time of year we came. Well,
not cold.
I'm not doing.
We could come without taste and still taste everything.
Yes.
Because that's kind of what we've been doing. We've been doing our own version of Taste of Chicago. It's been pretty cool. We've been tasting all over the city, not just at the festival. So that's been fun.
Yeah.
There are so many things to do. Did y'all know that Chicago had a beach?
As Sharifa's shaking her head.
So
the lake.
No, but seriously, so
from Sears Tower, or what's the place called? Skydeck and Willis Tower. Anyway, from there,
Sears Tower, formerly known as Sears.
I noticed World Famous looking out into the big blue yonder, saying, "That's the ocean.
Look at that ocean."
And I said, this is a lake. We know it. You know the lake.
It's
he was
Great
like,
Lakes.
So he immediately was like, yeah, it's Lake Michigan. I was like, exactly. See, it's a lake. And he was like, but I feel like that's an ocean. And
He's like, I want to go fishing out there. I know good well it's some DC fishing out there.
So people might think that this is actually not salt. I mean, it's salt. It's not salt water. It's fresh water.
There are fish in fresh water.
Yes, there is fish there. There are no waves, really. It's a little choppy.
Yeah, but it's so pretty.
Because of how he said Chicago was polluted.
That's the river, right?
But the river feeds into that lake.
Yeah.
True.
They've been dumping animal carcasses and junk in there for so long.
And high industry, they have all this industrial warehouses, and it's going straight into that.
I wouldn't swim in there.
But you can't because it's 42 degrees, he said, in the summertime.
People were in there.
Look at my husband being so environmentally aware.
You better influence.
It makes my heart sing.
But y'all, seriously though, because then my debate came in because, World Famous and I are brother and sister. So he's talking about how he wants to go deep sea fishing, not deep lake fishing. And I'm like, yeah. Why is the water blue? If that's not an ocean, why is the water blue?
So we have to kind of get a breakdown about what makes the water blue. And as long as it's water, it has the potential to be blue.
But I had the argument that Tanner's Beach water isn't blue.
That's a whole different discussion.
I don't know what's in there. Carrollton's finest.
Yes, we'll say that for another discussion.
But anyways, it was really pretty. The sights were nice. We took a boat ride, an architectural historical architectural tour.
And Sharifa thought she was an expert at
me and that doctor know all about.
Yes.
You gotta finish telling your expectations.
Art Deco.
No, that's elephant in the room.
That's elephant in the room.
Oh Lord, I'm not ready. Not ready for
this is so therapeutic. Okay, so this marriage edition is so therapeutic because guess what? We get to discuss issues in a non-invasive environment. So we're not going to get into
a safe place.
In a safe place. We're not going to fuss and fight in front of you guys.
We hope anyway. We'll see.
Right. Well, also, side note, when World Famous listens to our podcast,
cheers.
He's Excuse me?
Ooh.
I can hear the tingling of your glass.
I'm just
and I can hear you saying cheers.
Ice water.
When World Famous listens to the podcast, he hears my opinion on a lot of things, which is kind of cool. Because it's probably things that I don't talk to him directly about.
It's like eavesdropping.
Yes,
it's so cool.
Yes, he's eavesdropping on Girl Time, which is like, oh.
And your sister made the announcement. Like, she actually kind of confronted me with this at July 4th outing. I didn't tell you. She said, I mean, y'all be getting real personal and stuff on that podcast. And I said, that is our mission, to be raw and authentic into what our relationships are like. I said, we have too many fresh, new, married people listening. And even older people who are married. I mean, you can still see that, oh, wait, all these years we've been keeping it a secret, and this is what everybody goes through.
Absolutely.
So I want to be, very authentic in what our issues are, because we overcome them, so it's not like we're stuck in the place.
So do y'all think we overshare too much? You listen,
I listen,
Dead Doctor and World Famous, so what do y'all think?
You
called us out one time.
You did.
I mean, you some things about some people.
No. We're talking about marriage. Stay focused.
He's talking about
us
sharing
with integrity. You don't share.
Yeah, that's what we try to do.
And I think that most people can appreciate openness and honesty a lot of times. So even from my perspective, if it comes out, I'm a fixer, so I like to okay, well, I didn't realize there was a problem. So now at least I'm aware of it, where she may not have necessarily been comfortable enough just to have a conversation with me. Yeah. It came out during, again, a safe place, in terms of the environment. So it worked.
That's so true.
It hasn't led, 3 months strong, it hasn't led to any argument.
Nope.
You don't know.
Unless somebody hates me.
I'm just kidding.
Look, unless somebody in the world just hating us for no reason. And they haven't approached us with issues that we talked about. Yeah. I mean, but if we can't control.
Every time I talk about somebody, I call and tell them.
My people already know.
I'm like, you better listen, because I talked about you.
Yep. I'll tag you too.
Yup.
I'm not about that fake stuff.
For real. So we hope that y'all can appreciate that we are being very transparent when we discuss our marriage stuff or our friend stuff. We're not we're being honest. So
yeah.
Okay, so. Did we rank the overall trip?
I give it a 10.
This has been one of the better trips that I've been on in a while.
I agree.
So. And remember, we have to do that podcast about who to travel with.
Yes.
Because y'all are like perfect travel partners. That does not mean that everybody can just go out and travel with their friends.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so we have to talk about, we have to recap what made it so great about the traveling partners before we do that next podcast.
I like it. Okay, so let's move on to, since we're on trips, let's talk about arguments with spouses on trips. Why do I keep putting you with Debt Doctor? I guess because y'all twins.
You calling me Debt Doctor?
Okay, one and the same now. Since we spent so many days together, I can't tell y'all apart.
Sunshine, Debt Doctor.
It's all the same.
So, World Famous and Sharifa had a little spout.
A spout?
What?
Not a spout.
A few. No, they really only had one big one. It wasn't that big. It was so lame. I didn't mean lame. Yeah, it was hashtag petty. Well, but we can become petty at times.
Yeah, I can be petty.
As wives, I agree, because we have our stories as well.
I can't wait to hear these stories. Because y'all haven't shared with us. You just soaked in what our stories are.
Now, it just made us feel so human seeing you guys listen. We're like, we're normal.
Y'all were high-fiving each other like, you see that?
Yep. Ooh, we're okay.
We are all normal.
So, y'all are in our church small group, though. Well, in our old church small group, because they didn't have any more. So, anyways, you guys already know about our personalities, and they're very similar when it comes to our personalities. Oh, wait. If you listened, we did a podcast about the 4 personalities, right? So then me and World Famous are both choleric. We have choleric tendencies. So it became a joke in our small group, because I would be like, y'all, we got in an argument this week. And everyone would be like, we already know. What are you telling us that is new? We know y'all are going to, we clash all the time. We have the same personality.
Ooh, y'all
so, not 100% saying, because I don't like to eat. like that.
He's
like
so lame.
He does.
So lame.
But we do have these moments where control and relinquishing the control is difficult. Mm-hmm. And it's not a submission thing, because I've totally submitted to my husband. Like, he is amazing. He's a wonderful provider. And I do, most of the time, I'm looking at you now, I do yield to his right away when it comes to like real family things. But when it comes to like little petty stuff, I can get very, very
hold on.
Mind.
Hold on.
Did y'all say mind? Girl, I said hold on.
I want it this way, and this is why. So, okay.
When you have things in your head before you get somewhere saying, this is how I want it to happen, and if it deviates anyway, you get upset.
Cue Taste of Chicago.
Yes.
Pause. When this trip was set up, I have it. I can show y'all my Google calendar. It says Taste of Chicago from July 5th until July 8th. Okay, that was will you go to Taste of Chicago with me this summer? And I said, absolutely, I will go with you there. Okay, now you go with that. Now listen to what they did to me. Listen to what happened.
So we sat down at breakfast, and we agreed that, what day was that? On Tuesday? We sat down on Tuesday.
Or Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday here.
It was Wednesday.
And then we said, hey, Wednesday we're going to sightsee. Thursday we'll go into the Taste. So we ate breakfast. We said we were going to the Sky View.
You said you wanted to see.
We want to see the Sky View. We want to see
Tower.
the Bean.
Okay.
We wanted to see whatever else we could see. So
see.
We eat. We link up. We walk to the Sky View.
Which I was very excited about, because it was on my list, but I wasn't going to say
anything. The walk
anything.
was amazing.
I didn't have any plans.
I was
truly going with the flow.
So we walk in, and they're like, hey, you got
I thought we were going to see it.
Right, because seeing the outside is not the same as going
it's
inside.
Not enough.
Really
in my mind, I wanted to see it.
So they
with
say,
my
hey,
eyes.
you got to get tickets. Hey, we grab tickets, $22. We go up to the top of the tallest building in
Fast
Chicago.
103 floors.
Right.
Awesomeness.
You can see all of the shoreline, the buildings, top of the buildings with grass on top of buildings. You enjoyed the view.
Great experience. It was a great experience. Now, the difference is, my idea of see is look at the building and say, saw it, and move on.
And that
his idea of see was
go all the way up
Everyone's
in it.
idea was,
get up in the line.
This is true. The three
out of
four. We all believe that C meant let's go to the top and see out of the top of the building. Like
and you got up there and
started
being rude a little bit.
I had a meltdown.
Nutted up.
You started being rude, but you were still enjoying the view, taking pictures. But then you just,
all up in the pictures.
Right.
Just mad taking pictures.
Down.
I said I was going to work my 31 business because this line was inappropriate. I don't like waiting in line.
Get on the ledge and take the pictures that you love so much.
Bro, I felt walled.
But we were very unwalled. Like, we really walked out on the edge of a building and like looked down. So it was kind of...
You're right. The idea of it was unwalled.
Yes.
The whole being in this elevator, going up, standing in these lines was very walled to me. So if we could have gotten that experience without that, I would have been fine.
So, cue in arguments with spouses on trips. This was their argument. And it
went on, right?
It kept going.
Well, it went away and then it came back.
See?
It did.
He said I was mad the entire time. And I was like, no, I feel like I was in it. And then things kept coming up again that was reminding me of the same.
Well, so me and World Famous started discussing about going to Wrigley Field and United Center and all this other stuff on Thursday.
All cool things.
More and more things.
That didn't have anything to do with the Taste of Chicago, obviously.
I didn't hear not one word.
We would go make a pit stop at the Taste of Chicago, leave that, and kind of go do our own little, men-oriented thing, if you really think about it. And it was like...
No, I think it was
sports. Chicago history.
Right.
Basically.
They wanted to be the tourists.
I like being a tourist.
Right.
So you come to Chicago and you got an opportunity to go see a Chicago Cubs game. You look into it.
Yeah.
But you come to Chicago for what? Taste?
We wanted to taste the whole city.
And so therein lies the problem or the conflict
of communication.
Because it was kind of like, well, we're not really doing what I came up here to do versus, hey, we're trying to experience the whole city.
We had to sit down, and I agree that you're right. We were trying to do a little bit too much. We got excited with being out.